You're watching the M-Power High Performance Golf Warm-Up. This warm-up is designed for you to get ready to play competitive golf rounds and to play your best. And a good warm-up is always designed around getting your body ready to play the sport that you're playing. And in our situation, it's golf. And our bodies need to be flexible, our muscles need to be pliable to avoid injuries. We need to have our muscles turned on so we can control our body. We have to have good balance, and we also need to be ready for speed, right? Because hitting bombs and drives and fairway shots is really a high performance activity, and we need to be ready for that before we get to the range. Also, most of us play multiple rounds in a row. It could be a 36-hole day, or it could be 3- and 4-day tournaments. And it's really important to keep our bodies as healthy as we can during those events. Now, oftentimes you're on the road and you're not at home, in hotels or in places that you just don't have a lot of resources available to you on the fitness side of life. So the exercises that we share with you, we're going to have an in-hotel version and an at-the-gym version. So perhaps you're at home or near your home course and you have facilities available, or you're traveling, but you have a gym that you can work at in the hotel. So you have some options in each category of this workout. Now, there are 3 categories to the workout. The first category is flexibility and muscle pliability. In that section of the warm-up, we're not doing long holds, they're shorter holds. It's more about getting your body ready to play and to get warmed up rather than gaining flexibility. So we're going to be doing foam roller work and lacrosse ball work to help improve that muscle tissue pliability. The second phase of the warm-up is a functional strengthening warm-up, and it's designed to start to turn your muscles on and start to warm your muscles up, the muscles specifically that you're going to be using while you play the game. And the last part of the workout is a little bit of a speed workout, and it's intended not to wear you out. It is not supposed to be a cardio workout. It's literally just designed to turn the muscles on in a way that we'll be using them while we're hitting drives and long fairway shots. So a little bit of explosivity, but not enough to make you tired. And I hope you really enjoy the video, work through this program, and be consistent with it, because it is going to help you play your best golf at the highest level you can. As I mentioned a moment ago, the first phase of our high performance golf warm-up is using a foam roller and a lacrosse ball to help keep your muscle pliability and tissue pliability perfect while you're playing golf. The first foam roller exercise that we're going to do is just to open up the chest and stretch your pecs out a little bit and help soften up your back muscles. You're standing over a ball a lot in the game of golf, and we really need to keep your chest nice and loose and flexible, as well as your mid-spine. So we're going to take a foam roller, you're going to put it on the ground, you're going to sit on the end of the foam roller, you're going to lie down so that your head is on the other end, and you're simply going to have your palms facing up, and you're literally just going to relax. You should feel like your shoulder blades are kind of wrapping around the foam roller, and you should feel a nice stretch across your chest. Now, what I like to have my players do is find different arm positions where you get a little bit more stretch. And for me, that's elevating my arms up and over my head. And I definitely feel the tension getting dialed up between my shoulder blades in these positions. You're gonna hold this for maybe 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and then you can kind of rock side to side, and that's gonna just level this up a little bit and start to attack those thoracic paraspinals that get super tight in golf. Now the next foam roller exercise is taking the foam roller and turning it 90 degrees. So this is gonna be across your mid-back, across your T-spine. The T-spine needs to be super mobile and flexible in the golf swing to keep you swinging your best. So we're gonna try to help that be its best by using the foam roller here like this. You're gonna sit on the ground. The foam roller is gonna be perpendicular to your back this time, and you're going to start with it between your shoulder blades. Now, what I'm going to do is use my legs to drive myself up on the roller and then back down. And you can change the position of your head to emphasize different parts and different actions of your spine and the muscles. So I'm going to do a few with my head low, and I'm going to do a few with my head high. And because I'm a right-handed golfer, I'm going to kind of get onto that right side and attack that right paraspinal muscle group, because typically the right side of your back, if you're a right-handed golfer, is going to be much tighter. Now, if you're a left-handed golfer, it's going to be the left side that's going to be much tighter than the right. So for you lefties out there, focus on the left side a little bit more than the right, and that'll help you out a lot. Now, the third foam rolling drill we like to do is to tackle the lateral glutes. Now, for the righties out there, your left lateral glutes are going to be a little tighter than your right. So I'd like to have you guys start out on the left, and for the lefties, I want you to start on that right side, okay? So you're going to sit on the foam roller this time, and I'm going to go sideways so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to sit across the roller like that. You're going to have your right leg be your plant leg, and you're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee. And then we're just going to roll up and down in different positions to try to soften up that lateral glute. The reason the left lateral glute gets tight for righties is that you're really loading into that lead leg and using it as your power pedal to drive your body through the swing using ground force. And that overuse, just doing it over and over and over again, just naturally makes the muscles tight. So you want to work on softening them back up so you have good mobility and good motion through the swing and good use of those muscles. Okay, the next one we're going to do is quads. So to get at the quads, again, you're going to have it perpendicular to your body. And what I like to do, a little pro tip, is I like to be on the end of the roller. Okay, so I'm going to set the roller off to the side. I'm going to get my quad directly on top, and make sure you empty your pockets out for this one. You're going to get that end of the roller right underneath your quad, and then you're just going to roll up and down that quad. Now remember, your leg is a cylinder, so I like to tweak and modify this a little bit by just turning my leg a little bit and attacking different parts of that muscle. Definitely going to be a sore one, and I haven't really mentioned this too much, but 5 to 10 rolls is really all you need to do as a pre-round. Not spending a ton of time doing a lot of reps here. We're trying to keep this pre-round warm-up within 30 minutes or so, maybe 45. So if you spend a ton of time doing foam roller work, it actually can eat up time that you would use for the rest of the warm-up. So 5 to 10 rolls. We're just trying to get you ready to play, and keep that in mind while you're doing this. The next one is hamstring. So with the hamstring, same thing with the quads. You're going to be off to the side of that foam roller, one leg at a time. You're just going to roll up and down the hammy. Now your hamstring is a complicated muscle. There's multiple muscle groups within it. So again, I like to think of that leg as a cylinder concept and work the outside and inside. And you can see to do that, I'm just turning my foot in and out to make it work better. Now, once I'm done with the hamstrings, then I go down to my calves, and I'm just going to work up and down that calf muscle. Same concepts apply. I'm going to turn the toe out to get the lateral calf. I'm going to turn the toe in to hit that medial calf. We're going to move on to using the lacrosse ball for lateral hips next. We're going to work on using a lacrosse ball to soften up the tissue and improve muscle pliability of your lats and your lateral hip. This is a great tool. It's fun because you can keep it in your bag and pretty much take it wherever you go, especially on the course. If you're having a problem, you can lean up against a golf cart or find a tree and just keep your body loose while you play. It's a nice little tip there. You're going to take the lacrosse ball, you're going to stick it right where that lat muscle right here attaches to your arm. You're going to put that lacrosse ball right there. You're going to lean against the lacrosse ball. You're going to put the lacrosse ball between the wall and your body, and you're going to use your legs to control how hard you push. Okay, so I'm going to use that right leg to drive into the ground and create pressure against that lacrosse ball. And I can feel a real tender spot where I've got it right now. But if I wasn't feeling a tender spot, what I would do is just reposition a little bit and search for those sore spots. Again, we're doing 5 to 10 rolls, not spending a ton of time, just prepping before we play, just kind of working through that tightness that maybe we developed on the range yesterday or doing a round of golf the previous day. So the next way we're going to use the lacrosse ball is the lateral hip. We're going to take the lacrosse ball, we're going to stick it right in the lateral hip here. We're going to put the lacrosse ball against the wall. Same thing this time. I'm going to use that outside leg to drive my body into the wall and then start to rotate. I'm searching for those sore spots, really trying to dig into those areas that are hard to get to with the foam roller. What I like about the lacrosse ball is it is a little bit more specific than the foam roller, where the foam roller is nice general soft tissue work and muscle pliability work. You can get a little more aggressive with the lacrosse ball. Having said that, it can also be kind of dangerous. So you notice I'm not doing this on the ground. I'm just going up against the wall. I can control the pressure a lot better. and it's a little safer way to do it, especially before I play, because I don't want to get too aggressive before I head to the course, just in case I actually maybe hurt myself. So this is a program designed to be light, soft tissue work, just to keep your body in a good spot while you play. And remember, if you're going to do the left side, you also have to do the right. One of the most common issues that my golfers call me about while they're out on the road is their neck. They're out on the course, something happens, maybe it's windy, maybe it's cold, they're getting really tight during the round, and the neck starts to have some spasm issues. And it's really hard to play golf when your neck is hurting. So this is one of my favorite ways for my golfers who are trying to help their necks while they're playing stay loose and pliable, is just take a lacrosse ball, find a corner, and you basically sandwich a lacrosse ball between your trap and the wall. It's a little tricky to get into the position, but once you figure it out, this can be a great resource for you to stay healthier while you're playing. You're gonna take the ball. I like to always start with the ball on my body so I know exactly where it's gonna be. And then I'm gonna lean over my hips. I'm just gonna drive into the wall. Again, like the other exercise, I'm using my legs to create pressure here. And I'm searching, as you can see, for the spots that are sore. I'm just leaning into it a little bit. 5 to 10 reps, maybe 30 to 60 seconds, just searching for those spots that are sore and just easing into it and then releasing out of it and finding another spot. Just keep yourself in a good place. And remember, this part of the warm-up phase is really designed to keep you healthy, but we're also not trying to hurt ourselves. So we're just lightly, well, lightly is the right word, but just working on each of these areas for a shorter period of time than we would in, let's say, a post-round cool-down stretching session. That would be much longer than we're doing right now. This is a pre-round warm-up. So it's the shorter duration moves using the foam roller and the lacrosse ball, just prepping ourselves for the next phase of the warm-up, which is functional strengthening, and then the phase after that, which is speed. Our first dynamic mobility exercise is going to be hip cars. Hip cars are an exercise that we use to help warm up the hip joints. The hip joint is a ball and socket joint, and it allows for you to create a lot of rotation in your golf swing. So we're going to use this exercise to get the hips working for you as you get warmed up for your game. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stand on one leg, you're going to bring the knee up, you're going to take the point of your knee and you're going to draw it all the way out to the side. And then if you notice, I'm rotating my foot up, and then I'm continuing on with my knee sweep all the way to the backside, and then I'm going to bring that knee down, through, and back up. That is one repetition of hip cars. So it's knee swings way out to the side, good. The foot rotates up towards the ceiling. As the knee continues to sweep, the knee drives down, comes back up. So it's out, foot up, back, through, out, foot up, back, and then through. That is hip cars, okay? The next exercise that we're gonna do is called hip 90-90. Again, it's an exercise designed to help warm up that hip joint. So you're gonna sit on the ground. For this one, you're gonna be in a 90-90 position. So by 90-90, what we mean is that the knee joint is at 90. There's a 90-degree relationship between my two thigh bones or my femurs, and then there's a 90-degree bend in my right leg as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on turning my chest toward the forward leg, and then I'm just going to lift my foot 10 times, warming up that hip joint. Nice. Try to get as high as I can, and then I'm gonna switch and do the front. So I'm gonna lift the front of that knee up now 10 times. Then after 10 reps, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go to the other side. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, 10 reps, and then 10 reps. And then I like to do a few leg sweeps, so just kind of warming up that hip flexor, bringing that leg around, and then I'll switch sides, and I'll do the other side. Okay, so sweep all the way through a few times, and then at the end, just to get a little extra stretch, I'll kind of hold myself over my legs like this, trying to pull myself toward that trail side, a little extra stretch in that left leg, okay? The next exercise that we're gonna do is a side bending exercise to warm up your thoracic spine. And we love this exercise to help create that lateral flexion and rotation that you're going to need in your golf swing as you play your game. So you're going to take a golf club, you're going to kneel on your right knee, you're going to hold that club over your head as straight as you can, and you're going to side bend away from your forward leg, okay? Notice how I'm trying to keep my arms straight, I'm trying to keep my head right between my arms the entire time, and you'll also notice that my shoulder plane is what's doing most of the work. So here my shoulder plane is flat, and this is my shoulder plane. The line between both of my shoulders should be horizontal right here, and as I move into the exercise, I'm going to try to get that shoulder plane to be as vertical as possible without putting myself in any pain. So I'm going to go over and back, and I like to do about 5 to 10 of these, and then we're going to add in a little rotation, 5 to 10 reps. Again, keeping the head between the arms and the arms nearly straight. And then we're going to combine those two motions to create what we love to say is the spinal motion through the golf swing. So it's lateral flexion and rotation. This is a great exercise to help warm your spine up, to help you get into positions that you're going to need to get into for your golf swing. The next exercise in our dynamic mobility series for our high performance golfers preparing for competition is pelvic tilting and turning. Super important part of the golf swing is being able to control your pelvis, to use your abdominal muscles to tilt your pelvis backwards and rotate it to clear your hips during the swing. And we're going to help you warm that up right now. So you're going to take your golf club, you're going to cross it over your chest, you're going to get into your golf setup. And I always like to kind of double check that, bring the club up, and then you're going to simply work on tilting your pelvis backward and then tilting your pelvis forward. There you go. When you tilt your pelvis backwards, you should feel your low back flattening. You should feel your stomach engaging and pulling your pelvis into that position. So you're going to do 5 to 10 reps like that. And then on your last rep, you're going to hold that posterior pelvic tilt, and then you're going to start working on rotation. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to take my right hip and I'm trying to turn it into the center of my body. So you can see how I'm creating that rotation. And then I'm going to take my left hip, do the same thing. I'm going to turn it into the center of the body, all the while working on maintaining that posterior pelvic tilt. One key point I want you to think about is when you do a posterior pelvic tilt, it's starting in the pelvis. So you're tipping from the pelvis, initiating that movement there. A lot of people make the mistake and they'll initiate the movement in their upper back. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep the upper back relatively still and just tilt the pelvis. Same thing applies when we're doing our rotations. I'm not really changing the upper back position a whole lot. It's largely an exercise driven by what's happening as you control your pelvis. The next exercise is called a reach, roll, and lift. This is a really good exercise to add length to your lats and dynamically warm up your upper back and your shoulder joint. So it's a tough one. You're going to get down on the ground in a kneeling position. You're going to sit your hips back into your heels like this. You're going to put your forearms on the ground. It's really important that you follow this step by step. Forearms will be on the ground. You're going to reach out with your left hand. Notice how my palm is flat on the ground. You're going to turn the palm up, and then you're going to lift the arm as high as you can, keeping the elbow straight. You're going to lower that arm back down with your palm up. You're going to turn the palm back down flat, and then bring the arm back down underneath you to support you. Then you'll switch sides. So it's reaching out with your palm down. You're going to turn your palm up, keeping your elbow straight. You're going to raise the arm up as high as you can without bending the elbow. So notice how the elbow stays straight. You're going to lower the arm down, turn the palm back down, and then bring the arm back underneath you. So we'll do that again on the left side. Reach the arm out, palm down, and then you're going to rotate the palm up, keeping the elbow straight. You're going to raise the arm as high as you can. Hold briefly, lower the arm back down with the palm up, roll the palm down flat, and then bring it back down, back to support you. I like 5 to 10 reps on each side, and as I mentioned, it'll really warm up your traps, your shoulder joint, and it also helps to dynamically stretch your lats. The next exercise is another shoulder exercise. It's called a prone arm sweep, and for this one, you're simply going to lie on your stomach, and it can be a really tough exercise for people that have stiffness in their upper back. So if this is hard for you, that's a good indication that you're pretty tight there, and it's actually be a good exercise for you, especially before you play. You're going to raise your arms up. You're going to turn your palms down. You're going to sweep your arms behind your back, trying to keep them off of your back. And then you're going to sweep them out and back to that thumbs up position. Okay? So you're going to turn your palms down, thumbs come down, and then palms are up at the ceiling. You're going to reach over your back like that, and then release and come up. Okay? 5 to 10 reps. And again, it's a great exercise for warming up your shoulder joints and your upper back. The last exercise that we like actually has two versions, depending on where you're at. The first one is if you don't have a wall next to you, and I'll show you this next version in a moment. So you have the ground, it's all you have, no wall. You're gonna get on your hands and knees, and you're gonna put your left hand on the side of your head. You're gonna bring that left elbow down to your right forearm. You're gonna reach up toward the ceiling as far as you can. As you can see, this is really warming up your upper back and warming up that rib cage and thoracic spine for rotation and separation in your golf swing. Okay, 5 to 10 reps. Again, working on full range of motion and leading that motion with your back and your shoulder blade to create as much rotation in your rib cage as possible. This next warm-up exercise is to help you get your balance muscles ready to help you support your swing and your game as you're heading into a big day in a tournament play for high-performance golfers. It's super easy to get ready to improve your balance, or at least wake up your balance muscles before you play. All you literally need to do is stand on one leg, and we've got a couple of great exercises that we like to use to help our players get ready to play. And the first one is really simple. It's you just stand on one leg, you're going to cross your arms over your chest, you're going to get into a deep golf setup, and you're just going to work on what we call a torso turn and trying to stabilize your lower body while you manage through that separation of between the shoulders and the lower body. So I'm simply hinging, crossing my arms over my chest, hinging at the hip joint, getting into a deep setup position, and just turning into that leg and then away from that leg. All the while really using my foot to control my body. And I'm trying to create equal pressure from the heel of my foot through the ball of my foot into that pinky toe. So really using the whole foot to control my body. And I really like setting a timer for about a minute on each leg. And then I would move into balance roll with a golf club. So I'm just going to grab a club real quick. The first exercise was bent over. The second exercise is going to be standing upright. You're going to hold the golf club, and again, you're going to bring one leg up. And I like to bring the opposite leg up and have the thigh parallel to the ground, but for those of you that can't do it, it's okay if it's a little bit lower. Your arms will be parallel to the ground, so you get a golf grip, and then you're just going to work on turning towards the leg that's up and then away from the leg that's up. Okay, so just working on turning back and forth. Don't stop in the middle, stop at the ends. I don't want you to teach yourself to stop halfway through that rotation. And you're really going to feel your ankle working, your feet working a lot with these warm-ups, and it's really important that your foot and your ankle, your knee and your hip are all working really well to help control your body as you stand over the ball. So the last phase of our high-performance golf warm-up, pre-competition warm-up, is getting your nervous system ready for explosive activity. Now, essentially, a lot of you are going to be out on the road in hotel rooms and far away from your local gym when you're going to be doing these warm-ups. So I'm going to have two versions of these exercises for you to do. Let's say you are local, you're near your home base and you're close to your gym, or your apartment building has a gym or something like that where you actually have been working on speed work, then that is a great spot to be doing these exercises. In fact, you can do your whole warm-up in those spaces before you head out to play in your tournament. And if you have that situation, I want you to work on the drills that are geared towards that. So utilizing a step, utilizing some med balls, utilizing some bands. Now, when you're on the road and you're in a hotel room and you don't have that option, you're not going to be able to do those things. So we're going to come up with some creative ways for you to just get your nervous system ramped up, get your muscles warmed up, get you ready to be an explosive athlete on the tee box and in the fairways where you really need to be to get those distances and get controlling your body the way you want to. Okay, so when you're working on developing that speed warm-up as high-performance golfers, we really have two routes, as I mentioned. If you're in a hotel room, on the road, the first exercise we want you to do to help you turn on that vertical downforce ability is just doing a walk to jump. You're not going to have a lot of space in your room, and all I want you to practice is that simple concept of stepping forward, landing quickly, and then just jumping up. So we're trying to get those fast twitch muscle fibers turned on, so it's a step, drop, walk, jump. Sorry, I said that wrong. It's a step, drop, jump. And if you notice, the arms are a big part of that. I'm really trying to move my arms quickly to help create that vertical down force, and then of course the up force as well. So we're going to load and then unload very quickly. Again, I do 5 to 10 reps per leg and just continue to work on developing that quick speed. If you're in the gym and you've got some time to do this program, as we mentioned before, then I would grab a kettlebell and work on some kettlebell swings. It's a great way to start to feel the ground and feel your glutes, feel your hamstrings like turning on in that moment. So kettlebell swings, the way we like to teach them is just to set a kettlebell on the ground. You're going to back away from it a little bit, grab the kettlebell, let it swing through your legs and fire your glutes into the ground. And that firing is what creates that swinging of the kettlebell. And if you notice, my arms are staying pretty close to my side. I'm really pushing down into the ground to create that momentum in the kettlebell. And that really is turning on those muscles around vertical downforce. Okay, the next part of our dynamic warm-up is going to be warming up the lateral, the muscles that move you laterally quickly during the golf swing. So you're going to transmit 80% of your weight laterally during the golf swing. It's really important to warm those muscles up before you hit the range. If you're in a hotel room somewhere in the world and you don't have access to a gym, it's very easy to do. All you do is literally jump sideways. And I like to add a little bit of a golf twist to this. And what we're going to do is get in our golf setup, cross your arms over your chest, stand on that trail leg, and you're literally just going to jump laterally. Now the idea is that it's a quick transition, so when you hit the ground, you go quite quickly, and if you want to add a little bit of rotation in with your upper body, you can do that as well. So very simple, 5 to 10 reps. It's a great way to start warming up those lateral hip muscles to get you ready to shift your weight into the trail leg and lead leg quickly during the golf swing. So we just covered how to warm up laterally if you're in a hotel room. Now let's cover how you do it in a gym. Grabbing a 3D strap, you're going to wrap yourself in with the pulley about hip, between your thigh and your hip height. Right arm in first, you're going to roll left, locking that strap down around your pelvis. I like my players to grab a step because it adds a little bit of extra challenge and makes you think about how far you have to jump. Very important part of this. You know, stand on your trail leg and you're just going to simply jump over the step. Now the 3D strap is pulling you back towards the machine, so you have to push harder off that trail side to do it. And I also want you to keep that tempo up. So you're going to hit the ground and you're just going to go as quick as you can off the ground. It's a more challenging exercise, but it'll also help you get ready for the swing better. Okay, the last phase of ground force development is in the anterior-posterior direction, or rotational on the ground. So I really want you to focus on warming that part of your game up as well. So there's a very simple exercise. If you're in a hotel room and you don't have a lot of resources available, you literally simply do little 90-degree twist jumps. In order to do that properly, you're going to react with the ground in that anterior-posterior direction, or that rotational direction. It's very simple, it's very intuitive. So you're just going to stand, you're going to jump and twist. Just jump and twist. And try to go as quick as you can. Do like 5 reps one direction, then you're going to go the other direction. I would do that 2 or 3 times. It's really going to help you get that feeling of rotational speed and power that you're going to want as you walk up to the range. Now, if you have access to the gym, then what I would really love for you to do is start to work on some rotational box jumps with a step walk-off. This is a great exercise to help you build that speed and power, remind your body how to move properly, and just as a review, this is simply how it goes. You're going to step up to a step with your left leg, you're going to land on your right, you're just going to jump up on the step. It's very simple, but it's a very powerful exercise in getting your body ready to combine vertical, lateral, and rotational down forces into the ground. So I'll do it again, stepping up with the left, land on the right, and up. Now, if you're a really good athlete, you obviously pick a higher step and you want to float. You want to feel like you're floating up onto that step. So it's a step up, it's down, and you float up onto that step, land confidently. The next phase of speed warm-up for high-performance golfers heading into competition is getting the torso moving way faster, really trying to help ramp that speed up, wake up the muscles that make your shoulders move quick. And we've got a couple of exercises that are really easy. If you're in a hotel room and you really don't have a lot of resources, then a rubber band and a little kneeling exercise is kind of perfect. You're going to kneel on your inside knee. So the right knee, for me right now, you're going to take the band and just holding it in both hands, work on quick moves. And I like people to actually go quick through and back. Just kind of gets everything going very nicely so that when you step up to the ball, your muscles are ready to fire. So this is what it looked like in real time. And again, not a lot of reps. We're not trying to do like a hard workout. We're just trying to get our body warmed up. So it's maybe 5 to 10 reps. It's quick, 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 just like that, okay? Then of course you'd switch sides. And you can do 1 to 2 sets on each side. Now, if you're in a gym and you've got a little bit of resources available to you, a kettlebell is a great tool for this exercise as well. And what I like about the kettlebell is that it gets you into this exercise. What I like about this exercise and using a kettlebell is you can get into a nice deep setup position and really work on your shoulder rotation as you would be standing on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a kettlebell and I'm just going to do quick turns, trying to catch the kettlebell, not let it hit the ground. And as you can see, if I do that properly, I really have to get my shoulders moving quickly to be able to catch that kettlebell. It's also a nice little hand-eye coordination drill. If you miss the kettlebell, you tend to get a little reminder by hitting your fingers on the kettlebell. So there's a little bit of a game that you get to play with that one, and it's a fun exercise to build shoulder rotation speed. This is the last exercise in the warm-up. Congratulations, you made it. And it's probably one of the more creative ones. I call it the sock drill. And what's cool about this is what you do in the gym or the hotel room. All we're really trying to do is get our hand speed warmed up and ready to go. So when you hit the range, you guessed it, we're ready to play. So the first way I like to do this exercise with the trail arm, typically guys are a little slower on the trail side, or they have a little bit harder time developing speed in their hands on the trail hand. So I usually start with that. And I want you to work on your sequencing. So whatever you're working on in your swing, you're going to just bring that sock back. You're going to load and fire through, just like that. Do 3 to 5 reps, and then switch to your lead hand. You're going to bring it back. You're going to load and come through. And it's just a really nice exercise because it gives you a target to go for. If you're in a hotel room, the edge of the bed works. Maybe one of the chairs in the room, something like that, that'll give you something to shoot for. I'd say the edge of the bed's probably better so you don't hit your hand on it. Again, I'd keep it to 3 to 5 reps, just working on that quickness, and then you're good to go. You're going to head to the range and get warmed up for your game and have fun. In conclusion, you have watched our high-performance golf warm-up. This program is designed for you to do before you have a competitive round of golf, either in your hotel room or in your gym. Wherever you are, whatever you have access to, you should be able to complete this before every competitive round of golf you play. It's going to help you keep your muscle pliability up, your flexibility up. It's going to help get your muscles warmed up so that you hit the range, you're going to be swinging your best by the time you take your first swing.